All right, I'm back. Who's here? All right, cool. I'm gonna wait for people to refresh. Okay, yeah, I'm back. I, that's the second time that OBS is the software that I use. That's the second time it's crashed. I'm not sure what's up with that. Okay, so the question states, and what the heck? And my webcam's not saving. Like the positioning. That's so annoying. Okay. So the question states round to the nearest hundredths place. If this is the case, so yeah, we got -1/16. Don't type -1/16. It's not gonna like that. It's gonna count you wrong. It says a decimal, so type a decimal. So -0.06. Let's just do number one because it's like the same type of problem. Similar, not quite the same, but similar. Macaroni in a pot. What does that mean? We are given the zeros. Should I Google that phrase or should I not Google that phrase? Macaroni in a pot. Oh, it's from the WAP. Yikes. Gonna ignore that. Uh, so stupid. Um, we're not given the vertex, we're given the zeros. Um, So we're not going to use vertex form, we're going to use intercept form. The question even says when you write the function in intercept form that meets the criteria, what is the a value? This is an exact copy paste of the questions that are in the homework, so no surprises here. Intercept form is a times x minus p times x minus q, where p and q are the zeros. So when I go to solve this, I immediately know that P is 3 and Q is 6 because I've essentially been told that. And once again, the exact same logic. If I want to figure out A, just plug in this random point and you're good. So let's do it. 3 equals A times 10 minus 3 times 10 minus 6. 3 equals a times 7 times 4, so 3 equals 28a. Divide by 28, a equals 3/28. I'll pause for dramatic effect there so you can look at that work. I'm hoping I'm not like blowing anyone's mind with that math right there, right? Once you know to plug it in, I hope we can follow those steps there. Want more channel points? We'll follow the channel and watch it. And if you have Amazon Prime, subscribe to the channel using Twitch Prime. If your parents have Amazon, connect it to your Twitch account and subscribe to the channel. That'll get you a lot of points. Okay, so I'll show you what I got here. So the question asked one more time: the zeros of a graph are at 3, 0 and 6, 0. Yeah, you can do that. Just connect your account, and then the subscribe button will say use your free Twitch Prime subscription, and you can use it on the channel. So we've achieved this much, right? Again, it's easy to achieve these zeros, but it's not so easy to get it to go through the point 10, 3, okay? Because it's clear over here. So we did the math that we did, okay? And we got 3/28. So let's double check that. Look at that. Boom. It's going through that point now. Once again, it only likes decimal answers. So our decimal answer, what does it say? Round your answer to the nearest hundredths place. So that's 0.11. 0.11, because the 7's going to round that up to a 1, yeah? I wish I had like a wireless mic or something. This cord gets in the way. All right, so what do we have left? We've literally done like every problem practically. Let's do a couple more easy ones. Solve the equation by graphing. So that was today's lesson. And some people were making me think that it was like the hardest thing ever. Like, it's not. Do not overthink it. Look at that! Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Look at that emo on the screen. New subscriber. Welcome. Look at that. Subscribe. Look at the little star by your name. You know, I made that emote, by the way. I made that myself. I mean, not that it's that impressive, but can you make that? Or I wouldn't call that an emo. It's like a GIF, right? GIF or GIF? GIF or GIF? I use both. So yeah, if you didn't watch the video, I suppose it's gonna be the hardest thing in the world. So I have an equation. There's a left-hand side and a right-hand side. So this, I know it's just a number, but I can graph these zeros, right? If I type in y equals 0 all along this path, y equals 0. You see that? The x value is changing, but y is always 0 along this path. That's what this line represents. And I can plot this graph. And to know when something is equal, when is this equal to this? When they're touching, right? When they're intersecting. So where do they intersect? Here and here. That's to be equals. If this is a graph, I know it's just a line, but it is a graph, right? Graph doesn't mean something complicated. It can be as simple as a line. So if this is a graph and this is a graph, when are these two graphs, when are these two functions equal to one another? They're equal when they touch, aka intersect. So x equals 1, x equals 7 are the two solutions. I don't know if maybe I should have written this. Maybe I just skipped over something that was so obvious to me, but yet not obvious to everyone. We're solving an equation, and the solutions are 1 and 7. Okay? When I plug in the number 1, what do I get? 0 equals 5 times 0 times negative 6. 5 times 0 is 0. And 0 times negative 6 is 0. Look at that. That is true, right? 0 equals 0. That's why that is a solution. Okay? So, switching display. it says type the smaller of the two. 1 is smaller than 7. Let's look at this one. Solve the equation by graphing. So I've got y equals 14. And I've got 1x squared plus 7x plus 3. It's going to do the stupid thing again. But that's okay. We'll live. So there's that. And here's 14 up here. Again, this is a graph. This is a graph. When are they equal? AKA, I'm asking, when do they touch? When do they intersect? Right here and right here. Okay? So right there, or what are we looking for? We want the smallest of the two again. So the smallest one is negative 8.322. So again, what this means, again, I don't want to, maybe I'm skipping over something that's obvious to me, but not to you. I want to know what x value, when I plug in, I can plug in any x value, right? What x value makes it equal 14? When I plug in, what was my number? Negative 8.322 for x. The answer is 14. Okay? The answer is 14. And watch me do it. All right? When I plug that in, negative 8.322 squared plus 7 times negative 8.322 plus 3. Boom. Obviously, there's the rounding issue. Please forgive the rounding issue, right? Because it's a decimal that's been rounded. But the point is it equals 14, right? We solved for the number. Okay? Negative 8.322. One more time. When is this thing equal to 0? Ugh. When is this thing equal to 0? Well, let's go ahead and plot y equals 0 as well, right? You got the left-hand side, you got the right-hand side. Where do they intersect? Here and here. It says to type... Oh, all three of these say the smallest of the two. Interesting. Okay. The smaller of the two, I guess that doesn't matter. The smaller of the two is 7.293. Boom. Lil Nat with the sub. Thank you. Augers. That GIF though. Ooh, you got that little star now? Don't be afraid to use that Wahoo emote. Wahoo! Don't be afraid to use the Wahoo emote now that you're a sub. Man, that's the best emote in the game. All right, we only have... What the heck? There we go. So, ZIO3 with the meow meow highlighted message. Thank you. I don't really know that gets me anything, but way to highlight. So, we only have one problem left, right? The word problem. So, spoiler alert, there's only one word problem on the whole quiz. The engine torque Y in foot-pounds of one model car can be modeled by the function Y equals blah blah blah, where X is the speed of the engine in thousands of revolutions per minute, what is the maximum torque? Round your answer to the nearest tenths place. So, I just realized that as I'm reading this question, those emotes are covering up a little bit of the question, but whatever, it's okay. So, any word problem, Slow Turner says, thank God there's only one word problem. Like, it's just, like, when I read these word problems, do you think I know anything about engine torque? Do you think I know anything about revolutions of an engine? Heck no. I don't know anything. All right? That's not the point. The point is I know how to plug this into Desmos. That's what I know how to do. I know how to plug this into Desmos. Are you kidding me? So plug it into Desmos. I don't know anything about engine torque. What did he say? He said, thank God. So I don't know anything about engine torque, but I know that this graph represents engine torque, okay? So the y-axis is torque, the x-axis is revolutions, right? I mean, it tells me that. Speed of the engine, revolutions, and y is torque. So what is the maximum torque? So replace what is torque? Torque is the y values. All that question is asking is what is the maximum y value? And I know you're probably going like, well, this is one of the easy word problems. Bro, they're all that easy. Okay? When it says what is the maximum torque, it's saying what is the maximum y value? Torque equals y value. I don't know what torque is. I don't care what torque is. I mean, we should kind of care, right? If any of us are going to be engineers. But the point being, if you're not going to be an engineer and you don't care about torque, replace torque with y. What is the maximum y value? That's all that's asking. So find it at the tippy top. The maximum y value is 58.185. 58.185. So round your answer to the nearest tenths place. 58.2. The other side of the coin, when this was in the homework, because this just asked for the y value. I'm done with the question. But I think I have both versions of the question randomly chosen for the quiz. So you might get the other side of the coin. It says, what speed maximizes torque? Well, if this is the max torque, then this is the speed that gives you max torque. That's what this point represents. It says when the speed of your engine is 1.53, what is it? If it's 1.53 thousands revolutions, then your torque is this. So this is the max torque, 58, and this is the speed that gives you max torque. So I was kind of not looking at chat as I was sort of putting my thoughts together there. So maximum torque means torque is y. Okay? So the y torque is represented by the y value. So when it said maximum torque, it meant maximum y value. So when it says what speed maximum, I mean, I'm not kind of saying the same thing, but I'm just trying to answer the question with a little bit more context. When it says what speed maximizes torque, so it's not asking for what is the max torque, it's saying what speed causes said max torque. 1.53 causes that max torque. And we did the quiz. Holy cow, we did it. A combination of the first quiz or the first stream that failed and this one. I think we're at 20 minutes right now, and I think the other one was at like 15. So with my over explanations and in a little bit of dilly dallying in Desmos, I did it in about 35 minutes. So I think I spent way more time on some of these problems than you would need to. I think it's doable, especially with the passing period, right? How hard is it to get to your next class? It's not. You just change meets. Um, I'm willing to do another version of another problem here. I mean, it's very easy to switch out numbers. If there was one that we got hung up on at all, um, or we can just what is the link? Oh, that's a good question. Is that not on my page? Is that not on my page? Um, I'm looking at my stream. I've got the donate, the sub. I got my credit card links down there. No, it's not. Okay, I need to link it down there. Okay. Oh, I just realized I'm streaming that. My bad. Okay, so I'll find it real quick. Stream elements. Yeah, the loop. It's kind of trippy. I have not played it. No, I've watched people play it. Um, I kind of want to play it. It's just like a the hype is because like really famous streamers are like playing together, and so they can like conversate and kind of show off their personalities a bit more, and it allows like 8 to 12 people or something like that. And so it really creates it's not very stressful. Stream store, there it is. Sorry, this is taking me like 10,000 years. There's the store. No one's made a purchase yet, so I don't know if I get like an email or if someone makes a purchase right now, you should tell me. Okay. Does anyone have any I mean, we can just hang out in the chat here. Does anyone but just in case does anyone have any uh further things we'd like to look at? Yeah, that's the default picture choice for on Stream Elements. I could probably change that, but I just haven't yet. How do I edit my edit panels? There we go. Add a panel. Panel title. Stream stream points shop. Head visit the shop to spend your stream points on any item of your choice. Sure, that's good enough. I gotta go, but thank you for the review, Mr. Skis. You too. Have a good one. Did it save? There we go. The merch things aren't cheap. That is if I want to make a profit off it. I don't expect anyone to buy it, but I think that makes me like a profit of like $5 or $10. See ya. I don't know what game is on. How come that's not? I'm trying to image. I have to have an image. See ya. The Wahoo! Ta ta. I seriously am struggling.
Hello.
There we go. All right, so now it's time to do Geo. I need to make an announcement in geometry. Anybody still watching me? Anybody out there? It says I have 11 viewers, but yet for some reason I doubt that. Hello. You here for Geo? Yeah, we are. It's gonna be fun. Heck yeah, it is. Because I'm gonna wait till more people pop in before I really start anything. But if you have a personal, I don't mean personal as in like whatever, but if you have a question about something right off the bat, we can definitely look at that. How to love the lo-fi playlist, the non-copyright, no lo-fi playlist, you know? Either of you got any questions right off the bat? We're tuning in. What are we up to? Anybody want to look at anything specific? You want to shout out a practice problem they got wrong that they want to go over maybe, or something like that? One of the classworks? This one's a little too slow for me right now. What if we just drop the mad beats here? Ooh. We'll go back to lo-fi. We don't want to get copyright. I don't know. I just want to practice using the formulas with points so I get used to them with no simple mistakes. I love it. Perfect. So let's look at... I'm previewing the 1.3 assignment. So you can see here that we just asked for the midpoint a lot, okay? So let's just do 2 or 3 at least, 2 or 3 problems. I'm going to write down these points on my iPad real quick, and then I'm not going to have to look at this screen again. So, oh, I thought I was connected, apparently. Oh. Okay, so each of those problems said, find the midpoint between blah and blah. Find the midpoint between this point and this point. Find the midpoint between this point and this point. The midpoint formula is add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. That's what we were doing in class today. So let's do that for each question here. Number 1, when I look at these two coordinates, right, this is an x, y coordinate, x, y coordinate. So add the x's, divide by 2, comma, add the y's. Was that 3-1 or 3-6? I kind of wrote that down quickly, and now I can't read my own handwriting. 3-1. Okay. Um, 1 plus 1 over 2. So we end up with negative 2 plus 3. That's 1 half. And 1 plus 1 is 2 over 2. So 0.51. JV, if at any point you got a question, let me know. You did say you wanted to have some confidence here with the formula. And the question asks, so I guess I am showing the screen a couple times. what is the y value? Okay, this question, the Canvas doesn't like answers like this. Okay, it doesn't want the entire coordinate. That's not what it's looking for. Okay, it wants a number, one number and one number only. So that's why I'm asking, what is the y value? So when I look at my coordinate that I've already written, 0.51, this is the x value and this is the y value. So the answer to this question is 1. Okay? As far as the context of this problem, right? The next one says 1, 2, and 5, 5. So add the x's, add the y's, and we divide by 2. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 2 plus 5 is 7. So 3, comma, 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. You can just plug that into a calculator if you don't know that. But 3, comma, 3.5 is our midpoint. And again, read the question carefully. What is the x value? What is the x value? So when I'm looking at my coordinate here, this is an x, y coordinate. So the answer is simply 3. The last one is negative 2, 4, and 0, 6. So add the x values, divide by 2. So negative 2 and 0. Add the y values, divide by 2. So I get negative 2 over 2, and I get 10 over 2. So I end up with negative 1, 5. And this one was multiple choice, so I can just choose the right answer, negative 1, 5. Something else that we asked, as far as midpoint stuff was concerned, was quadrants. Okay, quadrants was also a main topic, and I know I didn't cover that in class today, but that's because I was mainly concerned on the formula, and I have a feeling that quadrants are better for us. But let's just talk about that together real quick. So this is a graph, right? X, Y axes. This is quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So when it asks what quadrant is it in, you first off have to find the midpoint, right? If you don't know what the midpoint is, you don't know where to plot it. So let's use these examples that I've already done here, okay? Let's just use these examples that I've already done. So let's say for number 1, it asks what quadrant, okay? So you would find the midpoint and then you would plot it, okay? So I'm going to go to the right 1/2 and up 1. So right there. I'm in quadrant 1. It's as simple as that, right? It's not a you got a 1 in 4 shot of getting it right. It's either in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. It could be on an axis, but we're gonna avoid that, right? We're not gonna try to trick you with a question like that, okay? It's gonna be in a quadrant. I look at this point. Where is it at? 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3.5. So in between 3 and 4. So right there. Also in quadrant 1. I look at this point, negative 1, 5. I go left 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right there is that point. So what quadrant am I in? Quadrant 2. Whoops. Quadrant 2. The question is as simple as that. That's all you got to do on those. So literally all of these questions where it's asking where is it, You would find the midpoint first and then determine the quadrant. For some of these, right? For some of these, you almost don't have to find it. You could like for example, number 6 there. 3 0 and 0 4 are the 2 points, and it says what quadrant is the midpoint located. Well, if you just plot those 2 points, 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 0 4, you know the midpoint has to be right in there somewhere. It's clearly in quadrant 1. Without even doing any math, I know that the midpoint has to be somewhere in between those 2 points. It's not like it's somehow going to be clear over here, right? And we're going to have a midpoint in quadrant 2 or something weird like that. It's not going to be some weird, right? The midpoint is going to clearly be in between these two guys. So without even doing the math, I know where the midpoint is. Another example of that, question 8 that I have here, it gives me these 2 points. Well, plot them and figure it out. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -6 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's -9 right there. The midpoint is going to have to be somewhere in between those two guys. Even without doing the math, I know it's got to be somewhere in there. So, quadrant 3. So you don't necessarily have to do the math 100% all the way out. You can do some deductive reasoning. And if I do say so myself, that's basically 1.3 in a nutshell. Uh, ooh, thanks for the follow, Amanda. Doesn't it feel good to be a Math Happens follower? If you have Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime from your parents or something like that, you can connect Amazon Prime to your Twitch account and subscribe to the channel, and you get the Wahoo emote. The Wahoo emote is on another level. The best emote of its kind. So, if we switch gears here and look at the 1.4 assignment, oh, you can do that, JV. You can do that. You can become a part of the Math Happens community and rock that Wahoo emo anytime. If you do it, you should do it at the end of the stream before it ends, so we can get the GIF to pop up on the screen. New subscriber. So let's switch gears and look at 1.4. Preview. So the distance problems are the same thing on repeat, like nailing that formula into your head, using it over and 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 over again. Okay? Over and over again. All right? So, let's do 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of those. So let me write down. These are okay. Let me write down a couple of the easy ones. Those first few are meant to be easy ones, and you'll see why. And then I'll write down a couple of these down here. Okay. So the distance formula is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. It really doesn't matter which one is x2 and which one's x1. When it's all said and done, the math works out just the same as long as you take care of your positives and negatives correctly. So as long as you keep that consistent, you're going to be fine. So with number 1, but I'm going to keep it consistent here and say, okay, here's my first point, here's my second point. First, second, first, second, first, second, okay? So when I plug it in, 6 minus 2 squared plus -5 minus -2 squared. Take a look at what I'm doing there. I'm making it super obvious and not letting the negatives get mixed up together, or I can clearly see here that I'm subtracting a negative. Nothing's blending together. We're not making a mistake here. So when I do this, I end up with 4 squared, and minus -2 means plus 2. So -5 plus 2 is -3 squared. So I end up with 16 plus 9. The square root of 25 is 5. So that's what it means by easy, is that it works out to a nice, pretty whole number answer. The answer is 5. Number 2. Again, I'm going to try to keep it consistent here. So x minus x. So 7 minus -6 squared plus -3 minus 8 squared. So 7 plus 6 is what I'm seeing there, right? Minus a negative means plus. So 7 plus 6 is 13 squared plus, and then -3 minus 8, that's -11 squared. So I end up with 169 plus 121. If you don't know that off the top of your head, then you'll have to plug that into a calculator. But 13 squared is 169, and -11 squared is 121. And notice it comes out to positive 121, right? Because the negative times a negative results in a positive. And then this is 290. Am I doing that right? 290. Did I make a mistake? Because this isn't coming out to a whole number. Or is this one of the... Oh, this is one of the ones that doesn't work out to a whole number. My bad. Oh, I skipped number 2. Derp. I was like, why isn't this working out to a whole number? Okay. So this is one of the ones that does result in a... Okay. Just, I mean, it does pay off to check your work there. I second guessed myself. This does work out right here. So then square root of 290. I'm plugging that into a calculator. Here, I'll share my screen. Um, the square root. I just like, if you want a good calculator, just literally type into the search bar Google calculator. And this. Oh, maybe just calculator. There we go. Calc. Square root of 290 is 17.029. How's it say to round? Number 3, or which? This one right here. It says to round to the nearest hundredths. So tenths, hundredths, the 9 rounds that up to a 3. So 17.03. Okay, so another easy one, and by easy, and I know you won't know that looking at the problem, right? You're not gonna look at it and go, well, I know that this is an easier, I know this is a hard one, right? I mean, if it says in the description to round your answer, chances are that's like red alert, I'm gonna have to round, right? Red alert, it's gonna be a decimal. You can kind of make that assumption. So, but x minus x, so -2 minus -8 squared plus 8 minus 0 squared comes out to be, so minus -8 means plus 8. So -2 plus 8 is 6 squared. 8 minus 0, that's 8 squared. So we end up with 36 plus 64, which adds up to 100. The square root of 100, boom. That's just 10. I'm going to put on background. I was almost feeling too quiet for me. And the last one here, for good measure, the square root of, again, I just look at these first two numbers here, 5 minus 4 squared plus, and then -3 minus 3 squared. So I end up with 5 minus 4, that's just 1, easy. -3 minus 3, that is -6. Sorry, almost misspoke there. That's -6 squared. So 1 squared, that's 1. -6 squared, the negatives cancel. Don't forget that. We end up with a positive 36. So we end up with the square root of 37. And it says to this one, it's set to round to the 10ths place on the canvas. So one more time, I'll pull up my calculator. Square root of 37 is 6.08. The 8 rounds that up to 6.1 as far as the 10ths place is concerned. If this was the hundredths place, 6.08 would be the right answer because the 2 is not going to change anything. But 10ths place, this rounds up to 6.1. And we did it. There's literally no surprises when it comes to distance formula. The main thing that these problems were getting at with Desmos is that you shouldn't be afraid to use the Pythagorean Theorem. So this says the distance between B to D. You shouldn't be afraid to look at this and go, oh, I see a triangle here that is 1 wide and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. Don't be afraid to use the Pythagorean Theorem. So if it's 1 wide and 5 tall, we end up with, well, let's call it C, because that's what it is. 1 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. You take the square root to cancel out the squared. And we say that C is 1 plus 25, which is the square root of 26. Right now we're looking at midpoint and distance for geometry. If there's other questions you want to look at, I take it you're a random person tuning into the stream. We could look at something else. But yeah, there's the end of that problem right there. Amanda, I know you said you were good, but if you've got a question, if you're still here, or JV, if you got a question, I feel like we hit just about anything you could expect. There's not too much to surprise yet, right? Good, good. What kind of problems are you doing, Survivor? What are... You can do one if you want. I don't know if you can easily copy paste it from... I assume you're online. Alright, good to hear, JV. Tables and distance. Are you able to type out some of it? You might not be able to type out like the picture that came with it, but... Oh. Well, I'd love to help you, but I guess I don't know. I would need to know what I would need to know a little bit better what you're looking at. JV, you're gonna hook up that Twitch Prime? Do it. We're gonna get that GIF. We're gonna get that new subscriber emote. Do it right now, sure. Well, if you can remember a little bit of it, if you even give me a little bit of it, I might be able to take a guess at what the problem was, and you can tell me. Or I mean I don't know. Like I said, I'd love to help you. You gotta help me a little bit. Oh, the song cut off. How do you link it? So when you go to probably when you go to settings, go to settings. So if you're on a phone, I don't know exactly, but I'm on a computer and I go to settings, and then there's a tab that says Prime Gaming, and then it says try Prime Gaming. It'll probably say, do you already have an Amazon Prime account? Go ahead and log in now. All I remember is that I had two different numbers about miles per hour, and someone rode their bike to work. On a phone, let's see, on a phone, we can find about the same thing, right? Oh, Amanda did it! Look at that GIF, new subscriber! Use that Wahoo emote! Do it, you won't! Use the Wahoo! Use the Wahoo! If you can pull it up on a computer, it's gonna be a lot easier, JV. But you should be able to go into account settings, probably. If you click on the Survivor, I'm not ignoring your question. If you click on the emote thing, right? If you go into the chat where you are, and you should have the little emote thing, you should see a list of emotes that are available to you. And it should say like who you've subscribed to. There it is. Boom. Easy. Let's see if we can't help Lysol here. All I remember is that it had two different numbers about miles per hour, and someone rode their bike to work at a certain amount of speed, and then a lower speed on the way back home, and I had to find something. I think it was how far does the person live from work. So, all right, I can make that up. Jerry rides his bike to work at 5 miles per hour. On his way home, he slowly rides 3 miles per hour. The how would it phrase the question? Do it, JV. Do it. How would it phrase the question? What did you say? You said, how far does he live from work? So, I'm trying to think how to phrase the question, like, with given these miles per hours. It takes I have a feeling it didn't give you two speeds. Wait. How far as in how long will it take to get to work, maybe? If his work is 10 miles away, how long does it take him? Is that maybe what it asked? I know I'm scribbling. Pokimane is playing Among Us right now with 20,000 viewers on my Twitch recommended right now. Ninja's playing with 32,000. Jeez. Well, guess we're just waiting on Lysol here. Doing that thing where it sends the login code to my email and I don't see the Bam. Are you in the right email? The email that you're using for your Twitch account might not be the email that you're logged into. let's see. -7 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 16 squared. You got 5? I don't think that's right. -7 minus 2. Oh wait, -2. -7 minus -2 squared plus 4 minus 16 squared. So that's plus 2, so I'm going to have 5 squared right there. And then 4 minus 16, that's -12 squared right there. So I end up with 25 plus 144, which is 169. Wrong coordinates. Three minus 0 squared, 0 minus -4 squared. So 3 minus 0, that's 3 squared, plus, that's plus 4, so 4 squared. 9 plus 16, yep. Okay, so Lysol, I was actually on the right track with my question. I should have believed in myself, but I wasn't sure. So Celeste rides her bike to work, averaging 12 miles per hour. You linked it. Where's that GIF at? Where's that notification? And then she rides her bike from work to home 8 miles per hour. If the total trip takes 1 hour, how far does she live from her work? So, distance equals rate times time. So, we know that the distance to and from work is the same. So, like I said, distance equals rate times time. So, we don't know, it says how far does she live from work. We don't know the distance, but we know that the two distances are the same. So, to work, her rate is 12, and her time, well, we don't know how long she took either, but let's call it T, okay? T for time. Actually, let me go ahead and say rate equals 12 and time equals T. And then when she goes home, wait, I think I did. It says on the Amazon Gaming tab, but not on the Twitch tab. Okay. And then when she goes home, her rate is 8 and her time, well, this is the tricky part. This is a somewhat tricky part. Okay? If Lysol, how about you answer me these questions here? Let's do some hypotheticals. Okay? The whole trip is 1 hour. The whole trip is 1 hour. All right? If it takes her 20 minutes to get to work, how long does it take her to get home? If you guys want to answer the question too to help out Lysol, you can. But if the trip is 1 hour long and it takes her 20 minutes to get to work, how many minutes is it going to take her to get home? So she's bicycling slower. We know the whole trip takes 1 hour. So it takes her 20 minutes to get to work. And we know the total trip, yeah, it's going to take her 40 minutes to get home. So in other words, the time here is, well, let's do another example. One more. Let's say it takes 25 minutes to get to work. How long is it going to take her to get home? There it is, JV. Spam that Wahoo emote. Yeah, exactly, 35 minutes. So what are you doing? You're doing 60 minus the time, right? 60 minus 20 gives me 40. 60 minus 25 gives me 35. So time here is 60 minus t. Okay. Oh, I'm realizing a catch here. I'm realizing a catch here, Lysol. We are in miles per hour. Okay? We're in miles per hour. So instead of saying 60 minutes, I'm going to write 1 hour minus t. Okay? So distance equals rate times time. So distance equals rate times time. So these two things are equal, right? The distance to work and the distance to home are the same. So rate times time. Rate times time. So the distance to work, the distance to home. So 12t equals 8 minus 8t. I distributed my 8. So add 8t to each side. We end up with 20t equals 8 divided by 20. T equals 8/20ths, which simplifies to 2/5. The part that I'm stuck on is t over 12 plus or minus t8ths equals 1. Yeah, I know, it's about to die. Rip. Well, I think I'm kind of on to what you have there with t over 12 a little bit. I mean, what you typed or? Like, I'm confused. What's your equation? T over 12 plus, oh, plus or minus. You're saying this? Is that what you're saying? Oh, you're saying I don't know if it's this or this. Okay. Well, how did you get this? How did you get to that point? T over 12 plus or minus. What made you have these fractions here? What made you have those fractions at that point in time? And the time is t, so I put it over the rate. And the same thing with 8. I don't think that's right. You know for a fact that that's right? That's what your teacher taught you? I guess I'm not seeing the strategy that they're using off the top of my head. So they're doing... Because what does t represent here? T is time? I mean, we know it takes... I mean... I mean, I don't know if this right here makes sense to you, that what I set up, right? The distance to home and the distance to work and the distance to home are equal to one another. So distance equals rate times time. Distance equals rate times time. So this is the distance to work, this is the distance to home, so they should be equal to one another. And then I just solved that equation for time. It takes 2/5 of an hour to get to work. I don't think... If we did minus, let's just pretend we do this. Let's just do this and see what happens. So I would get a common denominator of 24. So 2t over 24 minus 3t over 24 equals 24 over 24. And if I have the same denominator, I can just look at the numerators. So 2t minus 3t equals 24. So negative t equals 24. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So let's try plus. If it was plus, we'd get 5t equals 24. Divided by 5, t equals 24/5. But again, that doesn't make any sense, because 24 divided by 5, that means you're telling me that the time to get there is 4.8 hours. The whole trip is only 1 hour long, right? The whole trip's only 1 hour. That's what you told me. So how is time 4.8? Right? 4.8 hours? Because that doesn't make sense. I mean, I know for a fact that what I did is correct. Just saying. I do know that this right here is correct. This to me doesn't make any sense, because this is time divided by rate. That just doesn't... I don't think t represents time here. I think it represents distance. Is that it? Okay, let me finish the problem. So if t is 2/5, 12... That's it, bro. We found it. 12... So, look. My distance to work is 12 times t. So 12 times 2 over 5 equals 24/5. So the distance is 4.8 miles, which is what we got. So, yeah, this should be D's everywhere, as Isosceles just said. This should be D's for distance. because what we're doing is, so I'm getting a little sloppy here. Distance equals rate times time. So if you divide by if you divide by rate, the time equals distance divided by rate. So the time to get to work plus the time to get back home equals 1 hour. So the distance to work, we don't know, but we know we're going 12 miles an hour. The distance home, we don't know, but we know we're going 8 miles an hour. We know that these two things are the same, so I'm not using a different variable. I'm using the same variable. And in the end, it will equal 1 hour. So then that's why I got a common denominator. And then this is 24 over 24. So 2d plus 3d equals 24. 5d equals 24. Whoops. I already did this, but I'm just doing it all the way out again. D equals 4.8. Yep. Does that make sense, Lysol? Got the banger tracks in the background here. Isosceles, we wrapped up. You tuned in a little too late for Geo. Thanks, I gotta go over it with my teacher as well, just so I can get another retake on my quiz. Perfect. Well, now you can show off. Hope that cleared up some things. Yeah, my stream crashed actually at the very beginning, so I had to restart it, but yeah, that is the, what I just found there is 4.8 miles to get to work, and then 4 miles to get back home as well, right? Because the distance is the same. Oh, no. I mean, if you want to ask another question, you can just have a little tutoring session if you want. Okay. Well, then it might be the end. Just because, unless there's other people, there are other people watching right now, it's telling me, but it's just been you and I in the chat. But if anybody wants any help with anything, can I raid someone? Someone that you know. Give me their username. I'll look at their stream. Isosceles, are you still there? What was wrong with your video? Why does that sound sarcastic? AUZ1X. Twitch.tv slash AUZ1. What was wrong with your video? They're not even live. Yeah, they're not even live. Were you trying to record on your Mac or on your Chromebook again? Got no one. Neither do I. Who is watching this stream right now? Who else is there? Spam emotes if you're in the chat right now. You too. Good one. Oh, Amanda's still here. Awesome. The Wahoo emote. I want to use the studio function, but I can't upload from my computer. So then I was using with the Wahoos. See, we're trying to. Oh, Lysol with the Wahoo. Wait, if you record with Studio, isn't it automatically uploading? Isn't that the idea? Or no? Lysol with the Wahoos. That is really awful. I guess I'm having a... I guess I'm not understanding the workflow. If you recorded it on Studio, like I said, doesn't it just automatically go up on Canvas? Isn't that the point? So why do you have to screen record again? See you, JV. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming. ADXMRL. Playing Among Us. Who is this guy to you? Yeah, I think it's need to refresh because I'm not dropping any frames on my end. See ya. All right, well, I think we'll go ahead and call it there. We're hitting about 8:30. I'm gonna go ahead and raid this guy that Lysol wants me to raid. He's playing some Among Us. I can appreciate that. So those of us who are still out there, I appreciate you. Thanks for following the channel. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for tuning in, Lysol, asking your questions. Thanks, Isosceles. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. So how do I do this? I'm going to copy his username. Raid channel. All right. I'm out. Appreciate every single one of you. Reviewers are ready to raid. 5, 6, and we're raiding.
Happens, dude. Thanks for the raid. Yo, dude, thank you. Math happens. What's up? I'm just gonna create a game, guys. Holy crap, man. Thanks for the raid. Where's the math happens, homies? Math happens, homies. Say what's up.
So we get Gabe in here.
You guys want? You want to just join a different lobby?
Start a new lobby.
Yeah, I got one started. I got the code. I got you.
Okay, I'm gonna leave too.
Are we going to yours, Adam?
Yeah, I just put the code in the chat. Yo, what's up, Math Happens? Hey, thanks for the raid, man. I'm gonna pull up your Twitch stream or your Twitch channel real quick, if that's okay. Do it on this. Twitch.tv/mathhappens. Dude, I don't know about you, man. Have I seen you before? Have I hopped in the stream? Let's pull up a video. Says you're live. Oh, it's because it's me. Algebra and geometry. Oh, we actually do math? Yo.
Calling it a test is a bit extreme on iPad.
Get into the meat of it. Let's get into the meat of it. Math happens.
Our
Mr. Ski's classroom. So what, you're like a teacher? My mom's a teacher. She doesn't teach math though. I forget what she teaches. She teaches inner city school kids.
In our
Inner city kids. She used to teach special ed.
I moved my webcam. Zoom in. Oh, the difference.
Oh, so we're looking at like some sort of parabola type thing here.
Can I like minimize the problem? No. Okay. So.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's another easy one? Solve by graphing. Solve by graphing. All right, 6.5.
Math
right?
teacher. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, teaching's awesome. It's a great way to spread the love. You know what I mean? Spread the knowledge to the younger generations. Teaching is vital. Both my mom and my stepdad are teachers. Here, I gotta ask these guys. We're about to start up. Are we waiting on anybody, guys?
No, we're good.
All right, I'll go ahead and start it. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's a super. It's about time that there's like math streamers, dude. That's the future. That's the future. Like VR classes, streaming. Like teachers should be streaming. That's so smart. That's so smart. Yeah, we got Varshi in here, Earl. I'm not in my Discord, so I don't feel comfortable inviting you. I'm in Gabe's Discord. Yeah, man, that's so smart. Like, I don't know if you're a Ludwig fan, but I'm a pretty big Ludwig fan. And he said himself, he was like, man, I don't know why teachers just don't do what I do. You know, teachers can just compete to make the best product, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what you are as a teacher, more or less. You're just trying to teach people the best. And if you can teach people the best, you can get rewarded for it. If people actually enjoy going to your class and enjoy doing your stuff, like, why not just do it on Twitch? It's so smart. It's so smart. 78807. we get the music back? No. Never know. This game takes a lot of focus. Why are we not going to O2, bro? Hello, dude? Crazy. Okay, thank God. I might turn up player speed even more. I think 1.5 would be even better. I want to punch things. Ludwig is an education streamer? No. He's just purely entertainment. But he doesn't really do a lot of stuff, right? So basically what his point with that statement was that, hey, like, I don't really do anything. Like, I don't even have anything to really show for anything. I just have my personality, right? But teachers can have not only